I wanted to come and talk about something um, on this Time to Talk Honestly video. I am, something came up for me this morning, um, and I noticed that my chest is feeling and it's probably because I'm so close to retirement, um, like a day away. And, part of this may be just the fact that I am so close to retirement, but I'm feeling this overwhelming sense of heaviness. Like my chest feels heavy and it just feels full. Feels like what you can imagine a balloon would feel that's filled with water and just feels full and tight. And, I always say this is a place where I like to name things. Um, I like to name things so that we, somebody else who might be looking at this, another woman who might be looking at this, and not feel these feelings that some women sometimes feel, but so that if a woman looks at this, she can see she's not alone, and she can take this information and basically live a life that she wants sooner, right? So you don't have to wait till you get on the other side um, in midlife to be living a life that you love. Because a lot of the stuff that we talk about on this channel is about living the life you love. Um, and what do you do as it relates to menopause? What do you do as it relates to um, um, health, um, passion, you know, autonomy? Just what do you do in your life so that you can start living a life that you love? But in this video, I wanted to capture how how I'm feeling, so that maybe if someone younger saw this, um, they can be encouraged to start living the life that they love a whole lot sooner. You don't have to wait till you get into menopause. So, woke up this morning, chest feeling heavy, feeling tense, like a balloon. And when I talk about it now, it happens. Like the my voice starts to get raspy and uh, heavy. Um, it's a heavy that I feel. This is the heavy that I feel like when I'm getting mentally overwhelmed and I just need to take a nap. I'm an introvert, so when it just gets to be way too much, I could gladly take a nap. So it's feeling like that. I'm just feeling very full right now, and I'm feeling full because I stayed at a place where I felt undervalued, not appreciated. I mean, and I'm not pretending like, well, a lot of days were. I was gonna say I'm not pretending like every day was awful, but a lot of days were. Um, Certainly every day was not, but I stayed because I thought I was doing the right thing, you know, instead of pursuing things that I had a passion for, instead of, because 30 years ago, I know what I liked. Uh, I know I wanted to model. Uh, I knew that was something that was in my heart. And it's not to say that I may have been wildly successful at it. That's not the point. That is not the point about life. The point is that you do the things that fill your heart. Um, because when things get tough, in part because when things get tough, you have you have a reason to keep. You have some. You have a reason to keep going, because and that reason is more. You're just more connected to it. You have a deeper desire to do it. Um, we I have spoken about um, desire is the first step. You know, set your life around things that you desire, then create goals around that, and then um, consistency. Uh, that's a must. Those things gets to be consistency gets to be so much more. They get to be so much easier. Um, somebody look at you and be like, "Damn, she's disciplined." Um, but it's become easy. Of course you have to make yourself have some habits and have some habits. Um, Create an environment so you can have habits that can help you be consistent. But I'm telling you, it gets to be a whole lot easier um, when you connect to the desire that you have for doing it. So that was what I had a desire around. Um, and I don't want to call it regrets because I don't like to live in regret. Regret is not a space that I like to acknowledge, own. I'd rather say regret is not, because why? Why regret something? It's happened. You learn from it. You move on. So it's not that I feel regrets, but I do feel heavy for not being kinder to who I really am, or um, to myself 30 plus years ago. Um, but I'll tell you, I made this choice to go down this 30 plus year path um, because I had a family, and I wanted to be responsible. Um, I wanted security for myself. I wanted security for my family. And that was just felt like the right thing to do. It just felt like, you know, you bring other people into your life, and you're responsible. I mean, it's just what it is. You're responsible. And so I took this path because, and if I'm being honest, I wanted a pension. That was something that existed for me. And um, although when I started, I didn't understand pension. I didn't understand the value of it. I didn't understand inflation, all of the things which make a pension nice to have. Um, but I went down this path, and if I had it to do all over again, I don't know that I would do it. I don't know that I would do it. Well, maybe I would do it different. Maybe that's the whole point of it, is that I would do it differently. I do. I want to know where my desires would have taken me had I spent, you know, so much more energy on it. years ago, uh, earlier. So, at any rate, um, I feel like I lost by taking the 30 plus year stable path. Um, what do I feel like I lost by taking this path? I felt like I lived a life that just lacked passion. I didn't throw myself, you know, I didn't push myself. Um, you get in a space where you love and you just have a greater propensity to thrive. And I could have done that earlier. Um, I could have had more stories. I would have had more stories. Um, I don't know. I just feel like I would have had a fuller life. Uh, and so now, 30 years later, of course, times have changed and modeling is different. It's still the same in a lot of ways, but it's opened up to more people now, and so it's a space that I'm interested in getting back into, and I'm really excited about that for myself. So yes, it's still available to me, but now I'm 50. I'll be 56 in just a couple of months. So um, yeah, in a couple of months. So um, yeah, while it's still available to me, I do miss, I do envy um, the loss. I do grieve. I grieve the loss of who I could have become. More, how much more how much fuller I could have become had I done what I love, many, many, many years ago. And like I'm saying, I'd say, you know, I did achieve stability. I did achieve having a lifelong pension. I'm telling you, that doesn't feel like a trade-off. So uh, it absolutely does not feel like a trade-off. Um, um, I'm not going to even talk about, college has its place, and I'm glad I went. I'm glad I completed. I think I'm glad. It certainly helped me be more successful in my career. So I mean, I guess it's obvious it has its place, but this is not about going to college or not. This is really about following your dreams, following your desires um, earlier. Um, and, you know, maybe you don't have to choose one or the other like what I did. I chose, stability over just don't look at, my nails. So just don't even look at my nails. But I chose, I won't put them up so they won't distract any of us. But I chose the stability over the desire. And just maybe you can do both. Maybe you can do both. Or like some people say, only have a plan A. only have a plan A and go all in on plan A. Um, that means going all in. Um, it means going all in um, on your plan A. That's that's a life worth living. That's a life um, that you can enjoy. So, yeah, I'd say I achieved some things, even though I made this choice. Um, what would have made me go down that path? What could I have if I had the courage? If I had the courage, if I had the, but I don't want to pretend like my family had me to take this path. It was all because of them. I mean, it was a lot because, um, you know, but if I had the support um, to fulfill my desires, um, I had really, if I had the courage, I had the courage. That's really where it lands. Um, if I had the courage, um, I would have dug down into it a lot deeper and worked my butt off in the area that I desire um, to explore whether I can have the life that I love, doing the things that I desire. So, at any rate, I hope somebody gets something out of this. I hope you can, um, like I said, I want to just give all of this a name. You know, that 30 plus years later, my chest feels full and heavy when I think about all the years that I spent somewhere that I didn't feel valued and I did not love in any shape or form. Um, I am on this end. I'm grateful to be able to have a stable life. Um, but I tell you, if I had it to do all over again, I would. If I'm being honest, I would probably do both because um, you certainly need to be able to support yourself, right? So you can't just, unless you're lucky. Some people are lucky and they are able to figure out what they want to do. They have a situation where they can figure out what they want to do. Somebody give them a timeline, a year or something, give them a timeline of, I want to see you go all in on this. Um, so if you've got the flexibility to do that, do all you can to be able to take care of yourself, doing something that your heart deeply desires. Um, and if you don't have that, do all you can to um, fund, have some income so you can fund, FUND, doing what your heart desires. All right. Ladies who are in midlife, um, tell us what you wish you had done differently um, when you started 20 years ago, and what was missing. What if you had what? Then you could have you would have chosen um, to start your career off doing what you desire. And if you found yourself doing what you loved and what your heart desired, then Tell us what you had that gave you the strength to be able to do that, and what you had, what was in place for you that allowed you the support that you needed to be able to do that. So, um, I know I'm probably rambling. This is these videos are unedited. Whatever comes up comes out, and we'll be doing it again soon. All right, take care of yourself.